What's up, Ranger Nation? It's your boy Jerome, and I'm here today to give a review for Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel, episode number 17. And this episode was titled Happy to Be Me. So without further ado, we'll get the video started. Alright, so the episode starts on the Warrior Dome. You have Madame Odious, Madonna, and Tynamon. They're all together. And, Tynamon has the Ninja Fusion Star. So Tynamon is telling Madame Odious his plan. And his plan is to use Madame Odious's magical mallet and combine the fusion star with it, and to combine 6 Skull Gators to become a mega monster and all that kind of stuff. So when he's telling Madame Odious his plan, Madame Odious does like this plan, but then Madonna says it's going to fail miserably, and then Madame Odious does think about it. It will fail because the ninja stars, they only are active with the Rangers' voices and all that kind of stuff. So then we go down to Earth. Tynamon leaves the ship, and then we go to Earth, and the Rangers are outside of the base. They're, training and all that kind of stuff. And Mick comes up to Levi because he has this superstar mode that he wants Levi to try out in conjunction with the sword that Sarah created. So, when Levi gets ready to use the sword that use the ninja, the superstar mode, he is blasted by Tynamon, and we then realize that Tynamon has taken Levi's voice and replaced his voice with so what it is let me clearly put it together. Tynamon has Levi's voice, Levi has Tynamon's voice. So then we have the Rangers, they're trying to figure out why would Tynamon take Levi's voice. But the thing that they come up with, well, if our ninja stars are, the stars are powered up by our voices. So taking Levi's voice narrows them down only to 5 Rangers. And then, Levi is asking Preston, since, Preston knows how to do magic and all that kind of stuff, if Preston can undo what Tynamon did. Now, Preston is not quite sure that he can do it because, one, Tynamon used dark magic, and, he's not too familiar with dark magic and all that kind of stuff. But, Levi begs him basically just to help him out and all that kind of stuff. So he does agree to help Levi out. And then, he leaves. And then, you got Victor and Monty. I'm not going to even go too deep into Victor and Monty this week because I always do. I'm just going to leave it at that. So, Levi is talking and he still has Tynamon's voice. And, Victor and Monty are making fun of Levi at this point. And then, Brody comes up to them and says, leave him alone. He's sick and all that kind of stuff. And then, he comes up with some kind of, sickness that Levi has. And he tells them that it's contagious. And then those two get up and run out because they are afraid of it being contagious and all that kind of stuff. So then we move back over to the Rangers base. Now in the base, Preston is going through a spell book. And, he casts a spell on Levi. But the spell actually backfires. What it did is it turned Levi into young Aiden. And, with young Aiden there, they get some buzz cam activity in the city and all that kind of stuff. And Mick tells them, about the buzz cam, and then they go into action. Levi wants to go with them, but the Rangers say, nope, you're too young, you can't go with us and all that kind of stuff. And they say, maybe Redbot can read you a story. And Redbot comes up to him with a book and trying to read a story to him. And Levi's like, they were just joking, Redbot. They weren't taking it serious. All right, so then the Rangers go into the city, and they are intercepted by Tynamon, who has the Ninja Fusion Star. So then on the Warrior Dome, they send down the 6 Skull Gators, and much like what Tynamon said he was going to do with Madame Odious's mallet, he combines the Fusion Star, and he combines the Skull Gators to make the Mega Monster and all that kind of stuff. I think his name was called Mega Mauler. So he does it using Levi's voice. So then the Rangers morph into action, and they call on the Ninja Steel Megazord to fight Mega Mauler. I think that's the monster's name. I'm not like 100% positive. I think that's what they kept saying his name was. So when they're fighting him, he has this thing, and he just rolls right through the Rangers Zord, and then ejects the Rangers from the Zord. So then the Rangers just retreat back to the base. And, Tynamon is visibly upset that, Mega Mauler let the Rangers leave and go back to their base and all that kind of stuff. And, Mega Mauler was actually about to destroy Tynamon, but Tynamon, shrinks him down to size and all that kind of stuff. And then, Mega Mauler, he retreats back to the ship, and so does Dynamite. All right, and then we had this scene with Levi. He's in the park, and there's some kids playing soccer, and they kick the soccer ball in his direction. And the kids, go to get their soccer ball from him and all that kind of stuff. But then, Levi, he opens his mouth, he starts talking, and out comes the voice of Dynamite, which sounds like an old, decrepit, older person. And the kids start to make fun of Levi's voice and all that kind of stuff about how he sounds and all that kind of stuff. And then there's this little girl, her name is Rosie, who came to his defense and all that kind of stuff, and basically told those kids just to leave him alone and all that kind of stuff. So then, Levi and Rosie go and sit down, and, he asked, she said she's been teased because of the color of her hair. It was red and all that kind of stuff. And, he asked her, how did she get through it? And then she started singing one of Levi's songs, and Levi's like, that's my song. Then he had to catch himself. He was like, that is one of my favorite songs. And then, she asked him what his name was, and he tells her his name is Aiden. And, I actually kind of liked that scene, to be honest with you. That was kind of cute, kind of corny, kind of cute, but I actually really did like it. All right, so it is lightning. Well, it's not lightning here, but it's thundering here in Texas. Our weather is so bad out there, so if you hear loud rumbling, that's what's going on. It's thundering here. So, moving over to the school, I really do kind of dislike talking about Victor and Monty, because I was actually sitting here last night and I was watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and I'm watching season 1. I have all of the Power Rangers seasons on DVD, and I was watching Mighty Morphin season 1, looking at Bulk and Skull, who I absolutely love. And then I had to wake up this morning to see Victor and Monty on my screen, but not going to go too deep into why I don't like Victor and Monty as opposed to Bulk and Skull, but they do show up to the school in hazmat suits and all that kind of stuff. And, their principal basically just played into, their fear of, an outbreak or whatever going on at the school, which I thought was funny. I actually like seeing her joke with those two, because, sometimes she comes off so serious and she never just gets, like, to me, I think she should just stick it to Victor and Monty, and I was so happy that she did in this episode. So then we move back over to the Rangers base, and Preston still has not found a spell that can, reverse what Chinaman did, and also reverse what he did to Levi as well. And then, Levi's like, what, if I have to be stuck as a kid, I've done it once, I can do it again and all that kind of stuff. And then, when he said that, Preston made a revelation in his brain. He was like, and then he comes up with a separation spell. So then Preston uses the separation spell, and what the separation spell did was it returned Levi to normal, and it gave Levi his voice back, and it gave Tynamon his voice back. So then we moved to the Warrior Dome, and on the Warrior Dome, Tynamon is talking to Mega Mauler, and then when he's talking to him, Tynamon realizes, I have my voice back, I don't have the Gold Ranger's voice anymore. So then when he's talking to Mega Mauler, he's trying to trick Mega Mauler into going down to Earth to fight the Rangers and all that kind of stuff, which it ended up working, and they both zoomed down to Earth to fight the Rangers. All right, now back in the base, Mick picks up monster activity in the city, and he tells the Rangers to go to the city. And then when the Rangers are leaving to go into the city, he asks Levi to use the Superstar mode. So then the Rangers go into the city, and there's Tynamon and Mega Mauler there, and the Rangers morph. And Levi uses the Superstar mode, and he morphs into his Ranger form. So he defeats Mega Mauler, no problem. So then after he defeats Mega Mauler, Tynamon is still there. So then the other Rangers join in, and Brody transforms into the Lionfire Armor Red Ranger, and they all fight Tynamon. And Levi is the one who uses his final attack to take Tynamon out. He doesn't defeat Tynamon, but he does knock him out in battle. And when Levi uses final attack on him, that released the fusion star back to the Rangers. So when the Rangers get the fusion star, Tynamon, he leaves to head back to the Warrior Dome. So then on the Warrior Dome, Cosmo gigantifies Mega Mauler, and then the Rangers call on the Megazord, the Blazords this time. They didn't call on the Ninja Steel Megazord. So the monster is still even too tough for the Blazords. So then, they kick some stuff in front of his thing that he's mauling them with, and it blocks it just for a minute. And then, Brody comes up with the right idea. since Chinaman, he was able to use the Fusion Star to combine the Skull Gators. Maybe we can use the Fusion Star to combine the Blazords with the Ultra Zords. So they call on the Ultra Zords, and when they call on the Ultra Zords, they combine them with the Blazords to create the Ninja Blaze Ultra Zord. So then the Rangers, with the use of the final attack, they take out Mega Mauler and defeat him. All right, and lastly, we have the Rangers. They are in the park, and Levi, he goes up to Rosie, and basically he tells Rosie that he heard from a good friend of his that she gave him some good advice and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, Aiden? And he was like, yeah, we're very, very close and all that kind of stuff. And, they ask her, does she want to play soccer with them? And she says yes. And then you still have those other kids over there who made fun of Levi about his voice when he had Tynamon's voice. So they see Levi, they're like, Levi Weston. So they go over there and they ask, can they play with them? And, Levi asks Rosie, is it okay? And I did like this part, because in most cases, in most cases, if you've been picked on and someone, well known wants to play with you, and then some other kids come up, most kids would probably say no. But I like the fact that Rosie did not hold anything against those kids, and she said, sure. So she kicks the ball, and the ball goes flying so far that it hits. I was happy that it hit them. It hits Victor and Monty, and it knocks Victor's mask off, and that was pretty much the episode. So overall, I think this was a really good episode. I like the message of the episode. I will give this episode I'll give it a B+ because it didn't have that much Victor and Monty in it, and it had a good message in it at the same time. So like I said, I give it a B+. But like the video, leave your comments, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys later.